Mariah, tell us a little bit about Family Link.
Sure. Family Link is a nonprofit foster care and adoption agency that I founded a couple of years ago after being a foster parent myself at 21, and we've had many children in our family that we've cared for. But over time I came to realize there's only so many children that our family can care for, so that's why we do what we do, and we are trying to inspire safe, loving families to open their hearts and homes to these children.
So you've got some quotes there from some of these children.
Yeah.
Will you share some of those with us?
Absolutely. There are some children that are waiting to be adopted. Some have been waiting many years. So if you can imagine, if you were a child, you're in foster care, you're knowing that you're available to be adopted, and yet as you go into the grocery store, you might look around and go, really? Out of all these people out there, is there no one that wants me? That's how some of these children feel. We have little Anthony, and he's 9. His 3 younger siblings have been adopted, but he wasn't. He says, adopted parents, they actually care for you more. His caseworker says he's a very loving child in humor. He has a great sense of humor. He's everything you want in a little boy. We have another young boy, Christopher, has been waiting 6 years. Can you imagine 6 years? Most children begin to lose hope, and he says that he's trying to keep hope alive in finding an adoptive family. We also have Jackie. Jackie is 15, and her siblings have also already been adopted, but she was not able to be. So this is what Jackie says. She says, I don't want to be left out. I want a forever family that's loving and caring, and that's always going to be there for me, no matter what. Then we also have this other young fellow, Chris. Chris says this, my foster parents say no one is going to adopt me, but I have faith. I know someone wants a 16-year-old. How fun I am. I'm really fun, Chris said with a smile. He also says, I'd like to go places I've never been and have parents that'll love me and take care of me. I'll take care of them whenever they get old. I know that there are families that want to adopt these children, but I think that these people have not ever heard of these children, and that's why we're here today. I want you to know that these are just the beginning. Many, many other children. Carlos is 11, his sister Justine is 10, and they said that adoption means that you get real parents. It's different from a foster home, because you're just going to stay there until you find adoptive parents. Their caseworker says they're hungry for a family. They've asked their janitor at school. They've asked their cafeteria worker. They've asked everyone, would you adopt me? They just want a family. So I'm asking you, will you say yes to any of these children? We have several options. Some people aren't quite ready for a permanent commitment, and so for them, foster care is wonderful. They can open their hearts to children who have been need a home immediately, possibly in the middle of the night, to love on them and care for them. But then there are also children that are waiting. They're available for adoption, and yet, as of yet, they feel that nobody wants them. So part of the good news that Jim and I have talked about before, you might think, wow, I would love to answer the cry of some of these children crying every night to be adopted. But I've heard adoption is like $20,000. I'm not sure if I can add that onto my budget, and as well as the cost of caring for children. But I have great news for you today, and that is that you can adopt a child for as little as $500 to $1,000. And that's total. Because everything that we at Family Link do is free. Our home study, our case management, none of it actually costs the family, so the only cost is an adoption attorney. So if you think about that, you can change the world, make a lifetime impact. Children who are crying actually can now have parents for Christmas, and it costs you maybe $500 to $1,000. That is good news.
So what you're saying is that their expenses are covered.
Yes. Oh, in addition, so that's the cost of the adoption. But for the majority of children that are waiting to be adopted, there's an adoption subsidy, and that's an amount of money that can help with the monthly expenses caring for children. And then the majority of children waiting to be adopted also qualify for free college.
You know, it's amazing, but you know, you don't know this because the door was shut, but we had 4 people come in here and give their personal testimonies before you came in, and we tape recorded them. And 2 of those personal testimonies were by women. They were all four of them were women, but two of them were people that were young girls that were 9 years old that had both been raped by a family member.
Gosh.
And you know, they talked about how they've carried this around and how it's, you know, had such an impact on their lives. And you know, one of the wonderful things about what you do is that you provide safe haven for kids, whether they've been beat or raped or abused or hurt, if their parents have been sent to prison, you know, whatever it is. One of the things that you do is you offer an opportunity for people to be able to, you know, take these kids in for whether it's a 2-week period in time or whether it's a month. You know, there's investigations that take place, and while the investigation is taking place, then people out there that want to step forward and provide a safe haven for these children can do so. And it may last, again, it's a commitment, and while the investigation's going on, but it's a commitment for anywhere from 2 weeks to a year. And then if you want to adopt them, then you can also adopt them. But you know, what they're doing here is really important. You know, it's one thing to talk about how abortion is wrong, but it's another thing to step up to the plate and take people that need help and help them, help mold and influence and put the, you know, distill the right morals in these children. And that's what you're doing. That's why, you know, we're just so honored to be, you know, partnering with you for this Cross Festival this year and to help spread the word about what the wonderful ministry is that you do.
Well, we so appreciate the Cross Festival. I know that our family's going, and hopefully a lot of our foster families will be able to go, and we want to encourage families to go. I think it'll be incredible.
Well, we might have to just bring all of them up on stage.
That'd be exciting.
You know, you just now that you told me that, we need to talk about that some more later on. That would be a good thing.
There's been many times in our lives that my wife and I, we sat there and we thought about saying, we watched on TV, we would hear about kids need to be adopted, but they would be overseas. And we always said, well, what about these kids here? We said that many times, and we always said we're going to do it one day. And then an opportunity presents itself, and then we just looked at each other and knew that, okay, we need to go and give this girl an opportunity. My youngest is 10, and we just had enough room in our heart and in our home to say we can give another child an opportunity. Because we're always talking about changing generations. How do you change a generation? One child at a time.
There's also volunteer opportunities
right.
that you have. There's a need there. If you go to the website, www.crossfestival.org, and then you hit enter and you enter into the site, you will see a new link that we put on there called Orphans and Widows. And if you click on that, then it'll talk to you, it'll tell you some information and link you to their website.
Call us. We have so many children that need homes, and I am so grateful for Jim and his group, Cross Festival, being so supportive of caring for the orphans, caring for those that don't have homes. So we ask you now, if your heart has been touched, and if you have room in your heart and home to receive either a baby or teenager or sibling group, to call us as soon as possible and to go online at www.family-link.org.